A few years ago, before the playoff campaigns against Sheffield Wednesday, well, the campaign against Sheffield Wednesday and Wycombe, we had the slogan till the end. Never has that been more applicable for a playoff campaign than this one. In the 89th minute of the first leg, we won, scored the winner to make it 2-1. We scored a 122nd minute aggregate winner to get through to the final. And then the 90th minute winner in the playoff final to get promoted. Look, I'll talk more about this after the intro, but yeah, look, whoever came up with that slogan, people should soak this in. Do you know the one thing that's negative about that, and it's a very deep personal thing here? It sucks I can't bring my uncle to talk about that. I'm getting a little bit emotional actually thinking about that, but that it feels quite appropriate really that the first full season after he died, we've got promoted back to where we belong, let's be honest. Now, let's deal with the parameters or the challenges of staying in the Premier League for another day, because we've seen the last 2 seasons the relegated promoted clubs have gone straight back down. We have a lot to do in the summer, but let's deal with that for another time. As far as today was concerned, that was, as I said in the intro, if you could even hear the intro at that point, it was till the end, was never more appropriately named as what it was in this moment. Sorry, I'm just going to hold this. In this moment of securing promotion. An 89th minute winner in the first leg to win away at Coventry, which we hadn't done for 40 years, to get 122nd minute winner on aggregate in the second leg when it was close to penalties, when it probably would have felt like all hope was lost. And then here, to overturn a deficit against a Powership payment team, to score a 90th minute winner, is absolutely mental. And something personal else as well for me. And I've just had about probably a 50-second conversation because the signal around here is not very good. So if the video's late up, then that's probably why. But I would say this: my auntie doesn't watch football very much, and she watched it mainly because of my uncle but she had a passion, or a bit of a, not passion, but she had a soft spot massively for Sunderland because obviously they were married for 30 years. When we had a 50-second conversation before the internet died out, and she and a few of her female friends from the hockey club and her daughter, my youngest cousin who's 13, my cousin had a Sunderland shirt on. They were showing a bit of passion in the house. She tried to ring me for it. Like, that means a lot, and I know how much she struggled to watch sports since my uncle died, and I completely understand why she hasn't watched any. But even for her to watch this game was just shows how important it was to me and my uncle. And I know for my uncle and my mother up there, that would have meant a lot to them. And it's exactly the same for everybody we've lost this year over the course of the whole year. A big shout out to Carlton Fairweather, as I said before. You know, when I was just a uni student, and I was frankly a nobody really, and probably not much more less of a nobody now, but he was so class with me when he was in charge of Sunderland Ladies. He was absolutely magnificent with me, and I'm never going to forget that. So I think for the respect that man's got is incredible. Rest in peace as well to the Sheff United fan who died in midweek, and of course the tribute to George Baldock from their end was absolutely class. So these things like that, I'm jubilant we've won obviously, but that is much more important than football, and it puts it right into perspective. So yeah, absolutely fair play for that. As for the game itself, if I'm being honest, we'll try that again. If I'm being totally honest, I wasn't as impressed with us within the first half. I feel like we had, once we went 1-0, I think the first 15 minutes or so, Sheff United were a bit more aggressive. They were putting their foot on the ball a bit more. They were really starting to try and make things happen. They were causing us quite a few problems. Patterson, in the early stages of the game, made a fantastic save from Kiefer Moore when I think it was Luke O'Nien, and sadly Luke O'Nien had to go off with a shoulder injury, or a dislocated shoulder I think it was. You know what though, right? Patterson did really well to save that, and I think at that point we were thinking, oh, this is going to be a long physical battle here. Sunderland started to get on the ball a bit more and started to try and show a bit more quality, and I was saying during the game that I was thinking, no, I think we're not showing as much as what we could be, considering that we have got quality, which proves again we're not a bang average team. We're actually a pretty decent side, at least at this level. From Premier League terms, we're probably miles away at the minute, but look, deal with that again at another time. The point anyway, so obviously half time came and went. Sheff United, I think, had one big chance in the second half. I think it was either Tyrese Campbell or Kiefer Moore. I can't remember which one of them, but one of them beat Sirkin within the box, and I think Patterson, if I remember rightly, and I need to watch the highlights back here, my emotions all over the place. Of what I remember, I think Patterson made a crucial save second half to keep the score at 1-0 at that stage. And bear in mind, we had a goal disallowed for Sheff United through VAR. Now, the view inside the stadium wasn't the best for me to see that goal. So obviously that's something we're going to have to get used to in the Premier League next year. But you know what? At the minute, I don't really care. You know, and I've said before, with all due respect to Sheff United, and I think their fans are actually sound. I actually don't have a problem with their fans. But there've been a lot of times this season when I've watched them, and I think they've been a pretty, well, not bang average, because if we're not bang average, then they're definitely not. They finished 14 points ahead of us. But the point is, when you compare them to, say, Leeds and Burnley, I think Leeds and Burnley are by some way clear of the two of them. And don't get me wrong, Leeds and Burnley are clear of Sunderland. Of course they would be. They got 100 points. We finished 24 points behind the two of them. Although I do stand by the points gap between us and the top two, and the points gap between us and Sheff United is skewed by the fact we basically chucked in the last 6 games of the season. But having said all of that, once we started to force the issue a bit more, I think the last half an hour, Sunderland were the ones in the ascendancy for the most part. And up until that point, we'd kept the ball well enough in patches, but hadn't really carved too many clear-cut chances. But then we've got to talk about the 2 goals. Quickly, I'll talk about Sheff United's goal, actually. I wasn't very happy at the defending for it because I think, and I know it's a counter-attack and I know that happens, but that's why for me I've always said you can't go gung-ho, chuck everyone forward, because you have to be balanced at your approach, and we got done for pace on the break. We absolutely got done, and I could see why Sheff United do better when teams have in spells when teams have a go at them. But anyway, but on to the second off. But who cares? We've won. Let's enjoy it. But it's the first goal, the composure from Mayenda. I can't remember who got the assist for him, but the composure that young man showed was absolutely fantastic. And he's up against a good goalkeeper, Michael Cooper, as well. Finished it, obviously it's 1-1, and then the momentum completely shifted. And Sunderland were the ones starting to ask the questions. Sheff United, you could see, was starting to run out of ideas. Obviously, apparently someone on social media, I might have read this wrong, social media might have said that Kiefer Moore gave the ball away for Sunderland's winning goal, as in gave it to Tommy Watson. If that's true, yes, we did get a bit of luck, but you know what? We don't get luck that often. I think we deserve some luck from time to time. And to be fair to Tommy Watson, that has got to be the closest thing to a fairy tale ending as he could possibly imagine to get. The fact he's now going to Brighton, at least he's gone, having just scored the goal that secured promotion for Sunderland. That is absolutely incredible. And spoiler, I will say this isn't the only video you're getting surrounding this game. But you'll have to wait and see what happens in the coming days for that. But all I'll say is keep your eyes peeled on the channel for the next couple of days. But look, I will love you and leave you there. Thank you ever so much to everyone who's watched me this season. To the people who said hello to me today, that have said they like my videos. I don't know how you do, but absolutely fantastic. Shout out to Harvey, I think it's Alfie's brother on social media. It was his birthday earlier in the week, and apparently he watches my videos, which is top to every single guys, girls, boys, men, women, whatever. I'm going to stop here, I'm just rambling. Yeah, take it in, enjoy it. We've had, excuse my language, we've had years of fucking shite, and we deserve something to shout about. Yes, I'm aware the challenge of the Prem is going to be absolutely massive. The gap is as big as it's ever been. But for now, just enjoy it. At least we've got a chance to try and see if we can make something at Premier League level now. But look, I definitely, like I said, 3 years ago when we beat Wickham in the League One playoff final, I need to go off for the summer and have a break. I really do. Anyway, guys, look, if you're watching the video and you're not a regular sub, I know I mention this all the time, but yeah, come on. If I think I've earned a sub from you, hit the subscribe button and like the video. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost anything. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let's enjoy this. And I'm so glad that I'm staying another night in London. It's going to be absolutely class. One of the best weekends of my life, no doubt about it. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. And as always, and hopefully I'm saying this in the Premier League. Hopefully I'm having a good few smiles in the Premier League. But until then, how are the lads? Get in there. Come on.